Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 PHLAFF Q&A panel sessions. I'm Gabe Castro, a local Philadelphia filmmaker and a member of the reviewing committee for PHLAFF. Today, we'll be talking to a few filmmakers who have some films as part of our festival this year. So I'd love to introduce them, have them talk about themselves and a bit about their films. So why don't we start with Denise, and then we'll popcorn over to the next folks.
Okay, me?
Glenise or
Glenise. And then we'll go to Denise after.
Sorry. Okay.
That's
I heard
great.
Denise. Hi, Glenise Hunter. I am the writer and director of a short film called SUPA HAIR. Very grateful to be in this festival this year. Thank you so much for having us. And then do you want me to speak a little bit about what it's about, or are we gonna
just a little like synopsis?
Yeah, so my short film is about a 10-year-old Afro-Latina from the Dominican Republic. Her and her older sister end up moving to Arizona to live with their estranged grandmother after their mom passes away. And basically this hair that she has that she's been neglecting due to grief and, you know, culturally she's been kind of taught to hate. She ends up finding out that it has an ancient family power. So, yeah.
Awesome. We can go to Denise and Jenni.
Okay, so we are co-directing a short film that's called Ángel y Perla. And the short film is about a neurotic real estate agent that, because she's having a little crisis with her boyfriend, she makes a plan to reunite her psychologist with his psychologist. So, and a friend comes along and help her to do that. So Denise and me, we did that last year.
Yes.
You want to add something?
No, you were perfect.
I'm like, what am I saying?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Jonathan Primo Ruiz. I'm the director for The Fool. The story is a forbidden love affair between a rising black star and a white movie starlet that is ruthless. It's so hard to say. Ruthlessly sabotaged by those who sought to maintain the oppressive status quo in 1950s America.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
These are so very unique and interesting stories. Each one of them very captivating. Yeah, just I can't get over how different like you really just get dumped into this world, and it takes you on a ride, and there's some really exciting elements that come through in each of them. I'd love to hear about, you know, what inspired this film and like what drove you to create it. Where did it come from? The idea, and anyone can start. Whoever feels.
Okay, I will start because I think that we both are actors, and we didn't meet together before we shoot this film. We met in October, and in December we were shooting this because we want to act and to make our movies, because in Argentina it's a little difficult to shoot, to film, to produce, and
very difficult.
Very difficult. Jenni has another short films, and me too. And we matched at the first time we met. What we want is to show to Argentina and to the world what we want to do, that is to act, and we don't want to wait for the call. We want to go and take the action.
And we wanted to do something from scratch, but that would have taken longer. So I had this script that I wrote like 6 years ago, I was like, no more, like I was like 22 and I was going through a breakup with my boyfriend and I was so young, and I read that and it was very superficial. And now I'm 33 and I was like, they're not my problems now. So I readapted everything for now, for what I think now, and I added like another character, and the story changed a lot about two a couple, and now it's like a friendship, going through something together to help one another, and that's what it is.
Love that. I love adapting and changing for growth, right? Like we experience the world so differently as we age. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Kind of similar, not wanting to wait to hear yes, heard many no's throughout my career, and really wanted to kind of take my power back. This is like my third or fourth short film. But that's really what the story is about. It's about finding your own true power, and through self-love, really, because a lot of us still struggle with kind of accepting ourselves. A lot of the story is based on my own experiences, coming from a white passing Latino family, but my father was Black and Native American. So I, faced a lot of discrimination in terms of my hair, because to Dominicans, hair is very important. And so, yeah, a lot of the story has to do kind of with just really accepting who you are. And I'm really big into superheroes, so I wanted to make her a superhero. And yeah, overall, I think my main goal is just really to kind of educate as well. Really support Afro Latinos in film, and talk a little bit as well about the colorism that we experience within our community.
Perseverance of it, and this thread of like taking it into our own hands. Like, fine, I'll just make it.
Yeah,
you're gonna want it once you see.
Right.
Awesome. With my film, the thing is, my film is based off of a Hollywood rumor. It's actually based on Sammy Davis Jr. And so I do a lot of music videos, so I work with a lot of artists, and I talked to them a lot. And one artist had kind of told me about Sammy, and I wasn't really well versed into him, and they had told me this rumor, and I just remember once they told me, and it was just a very like summarized version of it, but when he told me, I just remember I saw the whole short film in my head. I was like, I know exactly how this movie starts. I know how it ends. I know what this character's emotional journey is. And I think the biggest thing to me, it's like it plays out like a Shakespearean tragedy. And that's what really, really like I connected the most with, was it's about heartbreak and sacrifice. And being that, we're all artists here. We do what we do because we love it and we're so passionate. And a lot of what we do comes with sacrifice. We sacrifice a lot for what we do. So like I put myself in this character's shoes and what he had to do, for the love of his life, So that's kind of what this film was about. And I just, like I said, it was just a story that I had to tell. And like I think everybody's saying, like, I just had to do it. I didn't even want to wait for anybody. I'm like, let's just go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That, and having that vision is so helpful, especially just like something to hold on to in the production process when the world is like throwing all kinds of wrenches into your plans. And each of these films have some really creative, like interesting aspects to them that really drive you in and help complete this story and capture the audience interest. I'd love to hear about what were some of the challenges that you may have encountered while creating this film, things that maybe had to change or make do with given the state of the world. Love to just hear about the production process, and this time we can start with Jonathan and kind of work our way down.
Okay. I guess with this film, like I had a pretty solid creative, like what I wanted to do creatively throughout the film in general. Like there's a lot of stylized flourishes that I do, but it wasn't more so to be like, oh, this is cool looking. It was more so like I really wanted to put you in the shoe of the character. So there's a major sequence in the middle of the film where it shifts to black and white. In the script, it was originally all red, and it was supposed to be obviously like really sell the dread and the ominous mood. But my DP, when we were talking about it, he was just like, we had a budget, so we're like, I don't know if we can paint this whole alley red. I was like, yeah, you're right. That might be too much. So he suggested black and white because it took place in the 50th. I'm like, oh, I think this really it adds, I think it's better because it adds to the film noir of the era and everything like that. So we did a lot of that. Plus on top of that, because again, budget wise, and you guys know time, there was, I had planned out shot lists and stuff, but there was scenes I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be bold, but let's just try to do one takers. Like I'm like, but let's plan them out, let's do them right. Because sometimes I feel one takers can be very distracting or like pulls you out. I'm like, how can we do this in a way where it like adds to the story and helps like really tell what the character's going through, and it's very intentional, not just like showy. So that was the big thing in the film itself too, was like there was moments I had to like shift from like maybe 5 shots to like 1 shot, and I'm like, okay, how do I combine this? And just doing those little things. I just think in any production it's always time and money, right? And so it's just finding those like creative solutions to really like help whatever helps the story propel the story forward and really brings out that.
Yeah, how to be concise in your storytelling without sacrificing like the story that we want to tell, and make sure people still understand the weight of the decisions being made.
Yeah, exactly. And the climax for my film, it turns into a musical for that moment. That I always planned to be a one taker, but I was just like, all right, the actor was also a big thing for me. I'm like, all right, that he has to know how to sing. So what I ended up doing was I was really inspired by Les Miserables, what was it, Tom King, the one with Anne Hathaway, and they sang live on set. So I'm like, I want him to sing live on set. I don't want to do it. So we did it live on set, that had its own challenges because I'm like, all right, if he messes up or this and that, or it's a one taker. So there was a lot of risk, but I felt the rewards will really like help sell the emotional journey for our character.
Yeah, he did amazing. Like honestly, each of these films phenomenally acted. I was very impressed. Really loved, like, just really understood these characters, and I was in awe the whole time. So kudos to him for sure. Definitely give him his flowers. So, would like to go next?
Well, I'll go. So our short film, it was like in 2 months we had to do everything because it was the World Cup, and we had this deadline that was the Buenos Aires Film Festival that we really wanted to get in, and we did, but the deadline was like January 6th, and we finished shooting December 17th, and on the 18th was the final cup of, and Argentina won, and it was like crazy times here in Argentina. So we shot like in 4 days, like crazy. And when I sent Nenu the script, the first thing she said, it was like, this is ambitious. I mean, because there's a persecution, and there's all in a budget, like a really small budget, very independent, everything, and in 1 month. So it was like, okay, yes, it's ambitious, but we did like all 3 short films each, and we said like, okay, it's the time to be a little bit more ambitious, because if not, we're still like in one set, 2 characters, and we can do that like all life, I don't know. But this was okay, let's do it. And it was crazy. So our editing was in 2 weeks, non-stop, and I don't know.
Playing, like we were shooting, and we have like ¿cómo se dice? Provestuario o algo de esas cosas.
Like ¿cómo se dice? Like I don't know. Like I costume.
A wardrobe.
Like rehearsals, and then we have a game, and Argentina was playing, and we have to think all for that, because and the best of all is that we think like, okay, Argentina is going to win the World Cup, so we have to make that all the production for that dates.
Yeah, before that, because if it was after and Argentina didn't win, no one would want to shoot anything. It was like, it would be so depressing. So we finished shooting and we won the World Cup, and then we got in this festival and we were like, okay, everything was good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Philly is is a big sports city. Even when we lose, we're definitely ones we shut down everything when we win. So I understand the like work around like the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
yeah, but it must have felt nice because it was kind of like your country was celebrating like together and almost like it was celebrating your film as well. Like it completed at the same time. Like, oh yeah, like two things to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for me, the biggest challenge, there were a lot of challenges, of course. This was actually a short film that was part of the LALIF Inclusion Fellowship sponsored by Netflix, which is the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival. And so we were working with Netflix and getting notes back from them. But for me, the most challenging thing, and I also heard this is quite an ambitious script, a lot, was I had animation in my film, spoiler alert. And so my main character has to go through somewhat like of a journey. And I wanted to do that via CGI. But I like VFX, and we have a little bit of that in there, but obviously the budget didn't allow for a lot of what I wanted. So I had to come up with a more creative, different way to kind of showcase this journey that wasn't in live action. And so it was animation. And animation is extremely expensive. Shout out to the animation team on this short film for, you know, really being able to kind of push through and quite honestly work for free, because that's what a lot of us did. But yeah, learning animation to me was like learning Mandarin. Like I had no idea what I was supposed to do as a director and like what it included. And yeah, there were like moments where the animation made me cry. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was super hard. But yeah, we got through it. And I think that, you know, that's one of the important things about having such an incredible team surrounding you and supporting you, is that sometimes as a director, you know, when I don't know everything, I'm still learning or I'm struggling somewhere, then someone can kind of come in and take a bit of that pressure. So
yeah, that sequence is really beautiful. And you know, like I don't know, I was blown away when it transitioned to that. It was really exciting, and it felt very empowering and educational, and it was like a treat in the middle of something that was so heartfelt to begin with. So definitely worth that hard work and the sacrificing of hours and building the team. That was amazing. Awesome. So the kind of the last question that I have for you all, and then I'll let you go, is how do you feel the audiences will react to your film? And more importantly, like, what do you want them to leave with? Like, what do you want them to leave feeling or wanting to do or think when they've seen your film?
I first of all laugh, I guess, because this is like it's a comedy. And second, I think to identify with the character, like you're not alone in your anxiety and your neuroses, and identify with, I don't know, like friendship, being with someone that can go with you with all your crazy ideas and your crazy thoughts. But most of all, I don't know, like they can forget and just laugh about the characters, laugh with the characters, but at the characters because they are funny.
Like that simple thing.
Laugh, just laugh and forget everything. But
excellent.
I think for me, I want people to find whatever calls to them in the film. Everyone that has seen it so far has taken something different from it. I would like for people to connect to their ancestors when they watch it, or any past loved ones that they have, because the grief is a very real thing. I had actually lost my dad a year and a half ago when this was all just kind of starting, and so a lot of my pain and a lot of what I was feeling at the time went into this movie, and that is picked up a lot by the audience. But overall, I just want people to feel loved. Feel loved. Yeah.
With my film, I just want people to feel, the character and his journey and what he went through and the sacrifices he went through. Again, like I said, I think a lot of people can connect to the sacrificing something for something greater or whatever, but I want the people to really just connect and feel for a character that has to make really hard choices. Um, you know, and yeah, that's kind of what I want people to get out of my film.
And I think so. I think, people really will identify with these characters. I think we've all been in similar situations, if not specifically those, right? We've heard about, or we've, had moments that we can identify with that emotional state, either of panic or grief or worry, and like the things that we do as people to keep moving and keep going, and some of it empowering, some of it, a loss. And I think that's kind of beautiful about the human condition, right? So I really hope that people get to watch your films and to experience the wonderful rides that they all are. And I hope you all get to, see each other's films in some capacity. It's a very long festival, so you'll be getting more information about that. But thank you all so much for chatting with us and sharing a bit behind the scenes of what went into creating these amazing films.